Alexander Hamilton said a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Now let's set the record straight. There's no argument over the choice between peace and war, but there's only one guaranteed way you can have peace, and you can have it in the next second: surrender. Admittedly, there's a risk in any course we follow other than this, but every lesson of history tells us that the greater risk lies in appeasement. And this is the specter our well-meaning liberal friends refuse to face, that their policy of accommodation is appeasement. And it gives no choice between peace and war, only between fight or surrender. If we continue to accommodate, continue to back and retreat, eventually we have to face the final demand, the ultimatum. And what then?
Among the dense rainforest of Gombe National Park in Tanzania, a population of chimps thrive. The chimpanzees roam across these hills in territorial communities which divide the chimpanzees into parties ranging from 1 to 40 members. Towards the north lies Kazakela, and the south the Kakambe and the Makenke. 4 years prior to the war, an English primatologist named Jane Goodall studied the interactions between these groups. These chimpanzees were territorial in nature and considered to be nicer compared to humans, but what she didn't know is that she was about to witness the first documented case of war among primates. The coming war would mark the first time a chimp would premeditate a killing of a fellow chimp. Additionally, it would be the first time a chimp would celebrate the killing. It all began in 1970 as fellow chimps would become hostile. A senior alpha called Leaky passed away. He would keep all the chimps united under one territory. However, after such a fatal loss, it would result in the political arguments amongst the groups. From the depths of the pack comes Humphrey. He becomes the new alpha. It was said that he attacked a researcher by throwing a large rock. Two chimp brothers, Charlie and Hugh, started trouble among the group. However, the community began to split. The Gombe group would divide into two factions: those who supported Humphrey and those who teamed up with Charlie and Hugh. The community of Charlie and Hugh would travel south to form the Kamaha, consisting of Charlie and Hugh, Goaty, Dee, Goliath, and Sniff. The Humphrey faction would stay in the north, consisting of Mike, Satan, Sherry, Everard, Figgin, Rudolph, and Jomio. On January 7th, 1974, the war began. The Kazakela tribe would come across Goaty and draw first blood. They ambushed Goaty while he was eating among the trees. He was thrown to the ground and was viciously beaten with a huge rock. This wasn't a fight between scuffling males, but rather premeditated murder of a fellow chimp. After this, the 6 adult males celebrated by grabbing branches and sweeping them around. The disturbing noise of a celebration would mark the first declaration of war. After dealing with Goaty, they focused on Dean and was promptly killed. Sadly, next would be Hugh, one of the founding fathers of the group. The next target would be the eldest male, Goliath. Goliath was a gentle giant, and he was the first chimp at Gombe National Park. He showed peace among the attack, but his kindness was used against him, as he was killed as a result. As for the remaining 3 males, one was killed, and that would be Charlie. After Charlie's demise, Willy Wally, a chimp with polio, would run away and never be found. The last remaining Chimali male, Sniff, would remain for 1 year, trying to survive. Many thought he would join another chimp community or try to reunite with the Kazakela, but in the end, he was beaten to death by the Kazakela militia. Now that all the males were now deceased, the Kazakela clan dealt with the females. Among the females, 1 was killed, 2 went missing, and 3 were beaten and kidnapped. The outcome would result in total Kazakela control over Kama's former territory. At the end of 1978, the Kazakela group committed genocide against the Kama group. This was a unique circumstance that was ever documented in the wild, but the war wasn't over, it was only beginning. Among the ashes of Kamaha reigned the Calendar community, a much larger group of chimps, outweighing the Kazakela. The Kazakela didn't stand a chance and were forced to retreat back to their original community, ending the war and stopping the cycle of violence. The Gombe War resulted in almost half of the original chimp community being killed. This great war amongst chimps showed humans a side that hasn't been observed. Humans thought that we are the only ones capable of violence and premeditation, but the Gombe War showed us that these chimps strategized and coldly calculated the killings of each individual chimp. James Goodall was left disheartened about the situation that unfolded in front of her. Her research put a light on the violent nature of these chimps. She also showed that chimps were not vegetarian but also ate meat. The community hunted for smaller primates to kill as well as using advanced strategies to eliminate any possible exit ways that the prey can escape from, resulting in one male killing the prey. They also used twigs and sticks as tools to feed themselves by fishing for insects. We believe that us, Homo sapiens, constituted the fundamentals of using tools, but now, of this revelation, this is not the case. The fact that primates are now using tools to inflict pain on others show us that these intelligent chimps could now wage war. And that was the Gombe Chimpanzee War. Thanks for watching.